Okay, so today is the day. Beachbody On Demand has come out with a brand new workout, and I've been waiting for this workout for quite some time. I had only seen good reviews on this workout, so we're going to give it a shot today. Today the workout is called Push, and it looks like there's going to be some push-ups involved in this, so something that I enjoy doing. And this is called 6 weeks of the work. Brand new, out on Beachbody On Demand. You do not have to have the early access anymore. So this workout, I think, has been out for about 6 months, but you had to pay for it. I'm cheap, so I didn't pay for it. Waited for it to come out on Beachbody On Demand for free. And so if you don't have Beachbody On Demand, there's thousands of workouts on Beachbody On Demand for every kind of fitness level that you could have possibly imagined. So it's something that you may want to consider, especially in this quarantine time that we're in. $99 for the whole year. It is so worth it. So today, 6 weeks of the work. They also have a 4-week version of this called 4 weeks of the prep, kind of preparing you for it. But I just want to get going on this thing, so I'm going to give it a shot. So here's a look at what today's workout is all about. Into this. It's pretty brutal. It's cardio driven. Muscles are on fire. Shoulders on fire. Legs are on fire. Shoulders the most. This is tough. So I'll give you a review at the end, but this is just 2 rounds in. We got 2 more to go. Okay, so I just finished up with day 1, push, 6
weeks of the work, and it was work. It was a very difficult routine. I showed you halfway through I was already spent. The third rotation was tough. The fourth rotation actually was easier than maybe the two middle ones. I think were the hardest. The first one, you're fresh. The second one is 50 seconds off. So he does 60 seconds on, 30 seconds off the first round. The second round is 50 seconds on, 25 seconds off. The third round is 40 seconds on, 20 seconds off. The fourth round is 30 seconds on, 15 seconds off. So the last round, it's like you finish a move, you better go get your weights and be ready to go, because it's like by the time you peel yourself off the ground or wherever you're at, you grab your weights and he's like 5, 4, and he's counting down and it's time to go. So you don't have a lot of time to waste on that last round. So it's a little bit more cardio. You breathe in and all those kinds of things. Your heart rate's up, but it doesn't burn as much. That's what I found. So the first round was brutal, 60 seconds of those push-ups where you're clapping behind your leg. So like when you first start out, I probably did the first 8 to 10 pretty easily, where I was able to jump up, wham, slap my hands and put the feet right back. At the end, you're like pulling your leg in, clapping your hand, putting your hands back down, sending your leg back the other direction. It's not nearly as smooth, and I found that the first one and the second one, when you're going for 60 seconds and 50 seconds, that became very difficult. Also, I started out with 12s for my shoulder presses, and the first round, that felt about right. But then as it accumulated and you're using a lot of your shoulders, I found that my shoulders really started to labor, and for a few of the moves, I went down to some 10s. Also on the first round, because it's my first time doing it, when we were laying down the first time and we were doing the chest presses and the legs changing, which was a weird move, and I'll explain that in a minute, but I used 12s. That wasn't nearly enough. So the second round and the rest of the way I used 20s, and I might be able to even use 25s on that. So you learn as you go that you can hold bigger weights than you think you can, and on other moves where you think you can do heavier weight, you find out, you can't, because the accumulation of the moves is just too much on your shoulders, especially because after you do the shoulder presses, then you come back with the one where you squat down and you push out, you're pushing straight out like this. Man, that one begins to work on your shoulders, and I was really having to just grit my teeth and get through those. So didn't stop on any of the moves. The only thing I will say, my wrist right here a little bit is a little bit, I feel a little twinge in the wrist. I've always had a little bit of wrist problems, especially when I did P90X2. So I have really good wrist guards. I'm going to suggest that if you have wrist issues, because you're kind of doing those flying moves, you're doing the burpees, you're getting down and getting right back up as fast as possible, so you're kind of hitting the ground kind of hard. I obviously did something. So I just need to get my wrist guards out, put my wrist guards on, and it helps hold that wrist, give it some stability where it doesn't hurt. So it's not like it's like injured or anything like that, but I felt a little twinge that last round, so I was just a little bit careful on some of the moves I was doing. So, but yeah, the one where you do the chest press and the legs go weird, I found it just easier to move the legs, and they were doing it where your arm would come part way up and your knee would come to join it, and then you'd switch again. I just did a continuous switching. It was just easier for my mind to be able to do that. I tried like 2 or 3 times to do it the way they were doing it. The way I'm doing it, you're actually with your legs out more often than your legs are up, which would actually engage the core even more. So if you're looking for that, also on a part of it, I decided to go ahead and lift my head and do it. That's something I learned. It's a move that you would do in Insanity Asylum 2. Shaun T has you do that move. So I just went ahead and lifted my head on some of that, and that way you can engage your core that much more. But I will tell you, your core gets absolutely torched. When you're doing those push-ups and bringing your knee in and clapping your hands, and you're doing the side twist push-ups, everything. Partway through, I was kind of, my stomach was like almost a little queasy. I think I need a little bit longer time between lunch and my workout. I have another meeting I got to get on to here in a little bit. That's why I'm moving my workout out a little bit more earlier than I like to. But I would suggest a good 2 hours between after eating before you start something like this. Otherwise, you start to feel that. So, but had a lot of energy today. I knew I would. I took all day yesterday completely off just so that I could be completely refreshed for today. So I felt fantastic. No issues getting through the whole workout. But I was spent. I mean, it was exhausting. It was a lot on the muscles, a lot of muscle groups just burning. Great workout. If you love high intense workouts, you will absolutely love this workout. So give this a shot. If you haven't looked into the 6 weeks of the work, I'm only on day 1, so I don't know what the rest of them look like. I have looked ahead. The pull day looks brutal. Looks like the pull-ups just never end. So I'm looking forward to that. I love pull-ups, but I don't think I'm going to be like the guy in the video, because the guy in the video is barely doing a pull-up at the end. So he's like doing half pull-ups. So it looks like it's going to be pretty brutal. But just looking forward to it. Follow along. I'm going to try to post as many videos as I can as I do this journey for the next 6 weeks. All right, we'll see you another day for another workout.